Someone disrespected you today. Maybe they talked over you like your words didn't matter. Maybe they canceled on you again, last minute, no explanation. Maybe they made that subtle joke everyone laughed at except you. And you smiled. You let it pass. You told yourself it wasn't worth reacting. But here's what really happened. They tested you. And you failed the test. Every human interaction is an experiment. Every person you meet is quietly asking one question. How much can I get away with? Your reaction, or your silence, answers that question immediately. When you laugh it off, when you stay quiet, when you excuse their behavior, you are not being kind. You're granting permission. Permission for it to happen again. Permission for it to go further next time. Permission to treat you like you don't matter. Machiavelli watched this exact pattern destroy empires. He saw good people, honest people, get crushed by those who understood one brutal truth. Human beings do not respect who deserves it. They respect who enforces it. Right now, someone in your life is pushing your limits. They're measuring how much they can take before you push back. And if you're here watching this, chances are you haven't pushed back yet. You've been patient, understanding, forgiving, and they've been observing, taking notes. That ends today. Because in this video, you're going to learn one decisive action that makes disrespect stop immediately. Not theories. Not motivational talk. These are ancient patterns of human behavior, tested for centuries, effective today. By the end, you'll see every relationship differently. You'll understand why some people are never disrespected, while others are constantly tested. And most importantly, you'll know exactly how to change where you stand. Write this in the comments right now. I control my value. Let's begin. Number 1, accept that society runs on rank, not intentions. Your good intentions don't matter. That sounds harsh, but it's the truth most people never hear. You can be the kindest person in the room, the most thoughtful, the most fair. You can spend hours considering others, trying to be understanding, doing what feels morally right. None of that creates respect. Behavior does. Every single interaction you have places you on a mental ladder. Not consciously. Not maliciously. But instinctively. Within seconds, the other person's brain asks, is this person above me or below me? Do I need to impress them, or can I test them? Should I give, or can I take? This isn't cruelty. It's survival software. For thousands of years, humans who failed to read social rank were dominated, pushed aside, or eliminated. That code never disappeared. It's still running in everyone you meet, whether they admit it or not. Here's the part no one warns you about. If you don't claim your position, society assigns one for you. Automatically. And it's usually the lowest one. Not because you belong there, but because you acted like rank didn't exist. Think about someone you know who never gets disrespected. They're not necessarily smarter than you. Not richer. Not more talented. They simply move differently. They set a boundary once, and people remember it. They say no without explaining, and nobody argues. They don't over-justify or over-apologize. They claimed their rank through behavior, and the world adjusted. Now look at your own week. How many times did you let something slide? How many times did you explain yourself when no explanation was required? How many times did you say yes while everything in you wanted to say no? Each one of those moments was a test. And every time you didn't stand firm, you taught people where to place you. Machiavelli warned about this centuries ago. People judge with their eyes, not with empathy. Everyone can see your actions. Almost no one feels your inner goodness. Your intentions are invisible. Your behavior is the only evidence they have. And right now, that evidence tells them you don't enforce boundaries. You don't create consequences. You don't push back. That isn't respect. That's convenience. You become the easy option. The person who won't cause friction. The one who absorbs whatever gets thrown their way. And once you're labeled convenient, everything shifts. People interrupt because they know you'll wait. They cancel because they know you'll understand. They disrespect because they know it's free. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're broadcasting the wrong signals. And from this point forward, that changes. Write this in the comments. Behavior creates rank. Number 2, stop signaling safety. Have you ever noticed how some people are almost never tested? Watch any group closely. Notice who gets interrupted and who doesn't. Who becomes the target of jokes and who remains untouched. Who has their boundaries pushed and who receives automatic respect. The difference isn't confidence. It isn't money. It isn't status. It's danger. Certain people project a silent message. You can try me, but there will be consequences. That signal is so clear that most people never even attempt to cross them. They sense it instinctively. Now look at the signals you've been sending. Someone makes a comment that crosses the line, and you smile. You laugh at jokes that sting just to keep the mood light. You nod while someone talks over you. You say it's fine when they show up late again. Every reaction is a message. And your message has been simple. I am safe to disrespect. Nothing will happen. Let's break down what those signals actually look like. Oversmiling. That nervous grin when someone says something uncomfortable. That quick laugh when you're hurt. That forced expression meant to prove you're unbothered. People read that as, this person won't stand up for themselves. Over-explaining. When someone questions your choice and you launch into a detailed defense. When you justify boundaries with long reasoning. When you feel responsible for making everyone understand. People read that as, this person can be negotiated with. Over-accommodating. They cancel last minute and you immediately say no problem. They're rude and you smooth it over. They take and take, and you keep giving. People read that as, this person is afraid of losing me. None of this makes you kind. It makes you predictable. And predictable people become targets. Not because others are evil, but because humans seek the path of least resistance. If you signal that you're that path, people will walk it. Machiavelli understood this clearly. When given the choice, people respect what carries weight. Not cruelty's edge. People must sense that crossing you costs something. Not violence. Not hostility. Just consequence. So here's your shift. Remove every signal that says you're harmless. Next time someone disrespects you, don't smile. Let your face reflect reality. No drama. No performance. Stop rushing to fill silence. Let it stretch. Let it press on them. That discomfort does work your words never could. Comfort is earned through respect. It is not a default reward. People who value you don't need you to be easy. People who test you depend on it. Write this in the comments. I am not safe. Number 3, cut off emotional access immediately. If someone can trigger you, they control you. Let that settle. The moment a person knows exactly what to say to make you angry, defensive, embarrassed, or insecure, they hold real power over you. Not symbolic power, practical power. Think about the last time someone got under your skin. Maybe they brought up your past. Maybe they made a comment about your appearance, your work, your progress. Maybe they implied you weren't as capable, successful, or put together as you present yourself to be. And you reacted. Your expression changed. Your tone shifted. You started defending, explaining, correcting. In that instant, you handed them the controls. You showed them which button works. That's why the same people use the same tactics on you. It isn't random. They tested a pressure point, and it delivered results. Now you're predictable. And predictable means controllable. Machiavelli understood something most people miss. Emotional reactions are invitations. Every visible reaction confirms, this works on me. It encourages repetition. It turns disrespect into entertainment. So the counter move is simple and brutal in its effectiveness. Cut off emotional access. Someone says something designed to provoke you. Your face stays neutral. Your voice stays level. Your body language doesn't shift. You don't defend. You don't explain. You don't react. You become unreadable. And watch what happens. The person who tried to provoke you suddenly looks exposed. They expected impact and hit nothing. They swung for control and found empty space. Now they're uncomfortable. Now they're scrambling. That moment flips the entire dynamic. Because the game stops being fun when there's no reaction to feed on. Power disappears the moment their weapon fails. Machiavelli once judged rulers by the company they kept. The same principle applies here. The people around you reflect what you allow. If someone feeds off your emotional reactions, it's because you've been feeding them. You've been giving them access to your inner world without permission. That ends now. This isn't suppression. It's selection. You decide who gets emotional access. Who gets vulnerability. Who gets to matter. People who disrespect you don't qualify. So next time someone tries to get under your skin, give them nothing. Calm face. Even tone. Zero visible effect. Watch the confusion. Watch the power drain out of the interaction. Write this in the comments. I am unreachable. Number 4, name the disrespect once, then go silent. Most people respond to disrespect in ways that guarantee it continues. They either ignore it completely, or they over-explain it repeatedly. Both fail. Ignoring disrespect doesn't make it disappear. It teaches people they can escalate. Over-addressing it doesn't help either. Repeating yourself looks like pleading. And pleading destroys authority. There is only one response that works. You name the disrespect once. Clearly. Calmly. Then you go silent. No discussion. No emotional appeal. No explanation. Here's what that looks like in real life. Someone interrupts you for the 3rd time. Most people either shut down or talk louder. Both lose. Instead, you stop speaking. You look at them. And you say, "You interrupted me." That's it. Then you wait. No softening. No, maybe you didn't mean to. No follow-up justification. You named the behavior. Now silence does the work. This is devastating because humans rely on gray areas. Disrespect survives where intention can be denied. We were just joking. I didn't realize. That's not what I meant. The moment you name the action plainly, the gray area disappears. They're exposed. And silence forces them to sit in it. Now they have to choose their next move, apologize, deflect, double down, while everyone feels the tension. That social pressure teaches faster than any explanation ever could. But here's the rule that makes this work. You only do it once. If you repeat yourself, you weaken the move. Repetition signals uncertainty. It tells them you're trying to convince them to respect you. And the moment you try to negotiate respect, you've already lost it. People who respect you hear you the first time. People who don't won't suddenly start because you said it again. So the formula is simple. One clear statement. Then silence. Then behavior. If they cross the line again, you don't issue another warning. You enforce a consequence. Because respect isn't created through conversation. It's created through cause and effect. Say it once. Mean it. Then let your actions finish the sentence. Write this in the comments. Once is enough. Number 5, refuse to justify your existence. You need to hear this clearly. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your choices. Not your friends. Not your family. Not anyone. But you've been trained to believe the opposite. You were taught that good people explain themselves. That maturity means helping others understand your reasoning. That respect requires justification. That conditioning is quietly destroying your power. Because the moment you explain, you lower your position. The second you start justifying why you said no, why you chose differently, why you set a boundary, you turn your decision into a debate. And debates only happen when your authority is in question. People who command respect don't explain. They decide and move on. Think about it. When someone with real social weight declines an invitation, do they send paragraphs? When they say no, do they list reasons? When they set a boundary, do they deliver a speech? No. They say, I can't make it. That doesn't work for me. I'm not interested. And that's the end of it. But when you don't feel secure in your position, you overjustify. You apologize. You stack reasons on top of reasons. And every extra word communicates one thing. I'm not sure I'm allowed to do this. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. Power doesn't come from titles or explanations. It comes from behavior that assumes authority. So here's what changes now. When you make a decision, you make it. When you set a boundary, you set it. When you say no, you stop talking after the no. No long reasoning. No emotional defense. No apology. I'm not available. That doesn't interest me. I've decided differently. People will push. They'll ask why. They'll act confused or disappointed. That's the test. They're checking whether you'll crack open and start justifying. Whether you'll enter explanation mode. Whether you'll seek their approval. Don't. You can acknowledge feelings without surrendering authority. I understand you're disappointed. And then you stop. Because watch what happens when you stop explaining. People stop arguing. They may not like your decision, but they stop treating it as negotiable. That shift changes everything. You stop being someone who asks for permission. You become someone who decides. Your life belongs to you. Your choices don't require approval. Your boundaries don't need consensus. Write this in the comments. No explanation needed. Number 6, delay access to you. There's a pattern you've seen but maybe never questioned. The person who replies instantly gets less respect. The person who's always available gets taken for granted. The one who drops everything becomes the backup option. This isn't fair, but it's real. Human beings assign value through scarcity. What's always available feels cheap. What requires waiting feels important. You could be the most valuable person in someone's life, but if you're accessible at all times, their brain registers you as abundant, replaceable. Look at your own behavior. When someone replies within seconds every time, you assume they're waiting. Their messages feel less urgent. You know there's always another one coming. But when someone is harder to reach, your attention sharpens. You respond faster. You prioritize the interaction. Now flip that lens onto yourself. What are you teaching people about your time? When you respond instantly, you signal availability. When you say yes immediately, you signal emptiness. When you rearrange your life around theirs, you signal that their time outranks yours. Even if none of that is true internally, behavior is what people believe. Machiavelli understood timing as power. Sometimes the strongest move isn't refusal, it's delay. So here's the shift. You stop being instantly accessible. A message comes in. Unless it's urgent, you wait. An hour. 3 hours. Until tomorrow. Not as a tactic, because you're living a life that doesn't revolve around notifications. Someone asks to make plans. You don't say yes immediately. You check your schedule. You think. You respond later. Plans are being made. You don't always bend. Sometimes they adjust to you. This isn't being difficult. It's being grounded. People who truly value you respect that your time has limits. They don't panic when you're unavailable. They don't demand instant access. The ones who get frustrated by reasonable delays were never respecting you, they were enjoying the convenience. Delayed access isn't manipulation. It's reality. Your time is finite. Your energy is finite. Your attention is valuable. Start behaving like it. Write this in the comments. My time is limited. Number 7, allow discomfort to teach the lesson. You were trained to keep the peace, to smooth tension, to soften moments, to rescue conversations before they become awkward. That training is why your boundaries keep failing. Because people don't learn through explanations. They learn through discomfort. Think about touching a hot stove. You can be warned 100 times. But one burn teaches the lesson permanently. Respect works the same way. Someone makes a joke at your expense. Instead of laughing along or explaining why it hurt, you go quiet. You stop smiling. You let the silence expand. Everyone feels it. Especially the person who crossed the line. That moment teaches more than any speech ever could. Someone cancels on you last minute, again. Instead of saying, "No worries, we'll reschedule," you say, "Okay." Then you don't chase. You don't follow up. The discomfort does the teaching. Someone talks over you in a group. You stop speaking immediately. You don't fight to reclaim the floor. The pause lands. The group notices. Behavior adjusts. Machiavelli warned against half measures. Either tolerate something fully, or make the consequence clear. The worst response is weak correction followed by emotional rescue. That only teaches people they can repeat the behavior safely. Stop rescuing others from the discomfort they created. Let the awkwardness stretch. Let the silence weigh on them. Let them feel the cost. Human behavior always moves away from discomfort and toward ease. When disrespect becomes uncomfortable, it disappears, without debate. Write this in the comments. Silence teaches best. Number 8. Withdraw without explanation. This is the line that separates people who talk about boundaries from people who are actually respected. When someone repeatedly disrespects you, after you've been clear, you don't explain again. You don't have a long conversation. You don't offer closure. You withdraw. Quietly. Cleanly. Without warning. No final speech. No emotional confrontation. No list of everything they did wrong. You remove your presence, your attention, and your energy from their life. This goes against everything you've been taught. You were told good people talk things through. That honesty requires explanation. That disappearing is cruel. But here's the truth most advice ignores. Staying after repeated disrespect equals approval. Every time you remain available to someone who ignores your boundaries, you teach them your words don't matter. That consequences are imaginary. That they can keep doing what they're doing, and you'll still be there. Words without action are noise. Machiavelli understood this. People already know what they did. They're not confused, they're confident you won't leave. They're betting on your need for closure. Your desire to be understood. Your hope that this time they'll change. Withdrawal is the only language people like this understand. Most won't chase you. They know exactly why you're gone. Some will reach out pretending to be confused. They'll ask what's wrong. They'll want to talk it out. Don't engage. Closure is earned through effort and respect. Not demanded after neglect. If you must respond, keep it simple. I've moved on. Nothing else. Because they don't want understanding. They want the right words to keep you accessible, without changing. You are not responsible for teaching them. You are not obligated to provide clarity. You are responsible for protecting your peace. Sometimes respect only arrives after absence. Write this in the comments. I walk away. Number 9. Stop being harmless. Here's the truth most people never hear. The world does not protect quiet people. It does not reward endless patience. And it does not respect those who tolerate disrespect while calling it kindness. Society watches behavior, not intentions. It observes who enforces boundaries and who only talks about them. Who walks away when crossed and who stays anyway. Who makes disrespect expensive and who makes it free. And the people who create consequences, those are the ones who earn respect. Not because they are louder. Not because they are cruel. Not because they are important. But because they prove, through action, that crossing them has a cost. Every rule you've heard today comes back to one single shift. Stop being harmless. Notice I didn't say become dangerous for no reason. There's a massive difference. Harmful people hurt others because they enjoy it. They seek dominance, chaos, control. They damage people for sport. That's not what this is. Harmless people, on the other hand, are safe to disrespect. Everyone knows they'll absorb it. Explain it away. Offer another chance. Stay even after being crossed. That's the version of you that needs to disappear. You're not becoming cruel. You're becoming someone with teeth. Someone who doesn't attack. Someone who doesn't provoke. But someone who will respond when necessary. And just knowing that changes everything. Because here's the secret most people miss. It only takes one moment. One moment where someone disrespects you, and you name it, then go silent. One boundary where you don't justify. One time you withdraw without giving the closure they want. That single moment rewrites the entire dynamic. They realize the old behavior doesn't work anymore. The old script fails. There are consequences now. And suddenly, you're not the person people push around. You're the person they think twice about crossing. Machiavelli understood this better than most. Everyone sees who you appear to be. Very few experience who you truly are. Stop proving your worth through endless tolerance. Stop believing respect comes from availability and accommodation. That has never been how it works. Respect comes from what people fear losing. Your time. Your presence. Your attention. Your energy. The moment people realize those are not guaranteed, the moment crossing you means losing access, they start treating you differently. Because now, you matter to them. And the truth is, you always mattered. You just stopped acting like it. So here's your move. Think of one person. Just one. The one who's been testing you. Pushing boundaries. Taking liberties. The next time they do it, apply what you learned. Name it once. Delay access. Or withdraw completely. Pick one rule. Use it immediately. Watch how fast the dynamic shifts when you stop playing by the old rules. If this message hit you, support the channel. Share it with someone who keeps letting people walk all over them. Subscribe, because we're breaking down the uncomfortable truths about human behavior that most people sense but never say out loud. And drop this final affirmation in the comments. I am not harmless. Because respect doesn't come from asking. It doesn't come from being endlessly nice. And it doesn't come from good intentions. It comes from what people fear losing when they cross you. And they should fear losing you. Now go take your power back. Before you leave, remember this. Respect is not something people give you because you're good, patient, or understanding. It's something they offer when they realize losing access to you would cost them something. The world does not run on fairness. It runs on consequences. Every interaction you have teaches people how to treat you. Every silence, every smile, every explanation is a lesson. For a long time, you taught people that crossing you was safe. That there was no price. That you would stay. That chapter is over. From this point forward, you move differently. You don't argue for respect. You don't chase understanding. You don't over-explain boundaries. You enforce them. Quietly. Calmly. Once. And when necessary, you walk away without looking back. That is not cruelty. That is self-respect. Machiavelli understood something most people never accept. Power doesn't announce itself. It reveals itself through action. People don't respect what they can endlessly access. They respect what they can lose. Your time is valuable. Your attention is valuable. Your presence is valuable. And anyone who treats those things casually does not deserve unlimited access to them. So the next time someone tests you, remember this video. Remember that you don't need to react emotionally. You don't need to explain. You don't need to fight. You only need to choose yourself once. That single moment changes everything. If this message resonated, like the video so more people who need it can see it. Subscribe for more lessons they never taught you about power, respect, and human nature. And comment this one final line. I choose respect. Because the moment you stop being harmless is the moment people start treating you like you matter. And you do.